Today, I am going to be reviewing Spider-Man Lotus, directed by Gavin J. Knopp. After waiting for an excruciating 2 years full of delays, we finally got this wonderful piece of art. So, this film is about Peter following the tragic death of his girlfriend Gwen, and he has to get over his guilt. Now, when I tell you this film is a unique piece of art, it really is. I mean, I think Spider-Man Lotus is a pretty good film. I have some issues with this film, but I'll get into that later in the video. So, the beginning of this film, man, when I tell you the beginning of this film is literally the best part, you just have to watch it for yourself. We open up with this incredible action sequence with between Spider-Man and the Shocker. Man, the visual effects, when I tell you the visual effects is peak for a fan film, I know it had a pretty high budget, but man, you can just tell by this film that you don't need a huge high Hollywood budget to create an outstanding looking film. It was choreographed extremely well, and it felt like it was an episode of Spectacular Spider-Man. Spider-Man is cracking jokes, and at one point in the battle, he has to take cover because he runs out of web fluid, which I think is pretty awesome, and he basically distracts the thugs that are working for Shocker, and yeah, I just think that's a really Spider-Man thing that he would do. Then after this fight, Peter, he is late to go watch a movie with his friends, and Gwen seems pretty upset. I'm not gonna lie. And Towen, the actress who plays Gwen, does a really fantastic job of acting as the character with the little amount of screen time that she has. And man, the music, the acting, and the cinematography, the color grading, the audio, all of this. I felt like they just took the most time at this whole beginning sequence of the film, and I think this is really where the film shines. After he has to walk Gwen home, and this is where he decides he's going to propose to her, but Peter Parker guilting out, and boom, he doesn't do it. But man, it's just so satisfying when they take that kiss. Oh man, Peter's like, I don't want to ruin this moment, and man, oh man, the music, everything. I think it's just mwah, chef's kiss. After we have this incredible title sequence, oh my goodness, when I tell you that the artists who created these, oh man, the comic strips, oh man, I you hear me, I keep saying oh man because it's just that good. It's like I don't have any words to say that could like describe how beautiful it was. It was just awesome and creative and just beautiful, eye-catching. But after this is when the film starts kind of going downhill for me. And don't get me wrong, I enjoyed this film. I think it's probably in my top 5 right now. But don't worry, I do not hate this film whatsoever. It's just a few decisions that I wasn't pretty proud of as a Spider-Man fan. Number one, we have so many unnecessary dialogue scenes that just linger on for about like 5 minutes, and I think it's just so unnecessary. On top of that, we have these flashbacks that literally just take up most of the film, which I think instead of having all these flashbacks, instead of jumping in and right and like just jumping in into these characters at the beginning, I think they should have added those flashbacks at the beginning to build the story so we wouldn't have all these unnecessary flashbacks in the middle of the movie. The flashback scenes were one of my main nitpicks because we go from this awesome written scene now back to a flashback that was kind of unnecessary. Not only that, there were so many establishing shots that I think were not used properly in this film. Like, yes, at the beginning, you can have an establishing shot to establish that we're set in New York. But in this film, oh my goodness, there's establishing shots of the same thing that we literally just saw. And you can tell it was stock footage. Although one pretty nice flashback sequence that I will give a pass is the Goblin fight sequence. See, before going in and watching this film from all the trailers, I thought this was going to be the final fight, but no, I was fooled wrong. This was a flashback sequence, and I think this one was used pretty well. Just the choreography. This is one of the best choreographed Spider-Man fan film fights I've ever seen in the history of fan film. And the cinematography and the VFX and the person who acts as plays Green Goblin, I forgot his name. He does a pretty sick Green Goblin impression that really mirrors Willem Dafoe's. Another outstanding sequence was the whole Tim Harris sequence. I just think Spider-Man sitting down with a dying kid and just spending time with him was just so heartwarming. And I just really like this scene. But at the same time, it feels like Peter is just trauma dumping on this kid who has cancer, like he's not already going through enough. I don't know. Yes, I like how Peter is like, I don't know why this kid is like praises me so much. I'm not the one who he thinks he ugh, he's not the one he thinks he is, and I like that part. But man, it's just like him saying it directly to his face. Oh man, I don't know. Just the trauma dumping. I just really didn't like that at all, coming from a Spider-Man fan. I think Spider-Man at that point is should be putting his problems aside and really caring for this child who looks up to him so much. I don't know. That's just me as a Spider-Man fan. Yeah. I just want to go back to some of the pros I liked about this film. Like I already said, cinematography, very good, very amazing with the budget that they had. I think they maxed it out pretty well. VFX, awesome, outstanding. The CGI swing sequences, pretty darn good. Acting, also outstanding. Writing and story, okay, I like the story and the themes behind the film, but from a writing standpoint, it's just I don't know. Felt like the dialogue lingered on at points, way too long. It just I don't know. Certain aspects of the film just like bothered me in a way. Oh, and on top of that, the presence of an antagonist and fight sequences. I mean, the antagonist in this film is Peter himself. He's going over his trauma. I think I actually like that. But for some people, they may not like that. People are now used to action-packedness from all these superhero films that we're getting now these days, which people expect to have like 4 or 5 great long action sequences in a film. But I feel like they could have at least added 1 or 2 more in this film just to satisfy those people who don't like soap operas or dramas. So, I mean, those were my final thoughts of this fan film. Personally, I would give this film a 7 out of 10. It's not bad, it wasn't that good, it was pretty mid film to me. If you guys haven't seen the trailer for our Daredevil film, Daredevil the First Defender, please go check it out now. It is officially up on YouTube. And stay tuned for the teaser trailer for Spider-Man Bounty. That should be releasing sometime this month, early next month. But besides that, thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out.